Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 8th audio file in the audiocast series known as the Q News Patriot. I am the Q News Patriot. My name is SGAnon. It's been a big week, folks. We are in the middle of Q Post 1440 Boom Week. We still have 2 days to go in this week. I've kind of got some information for all of you out there, not just in the United States, but also in Europe and some of the Commonwealth realms and countries. All of you witnessing the public disclosure of the Queen's death this week was historic in ways that I'm not sure many of you fully understand yet. The Queen, the royal family, they are essentially one of the ruling families for the entire cabal structure. This is equivalent to taking out the entire Gambino or Lucchese mafia families, families that had built syndicates based on blood and bribes. Interesting crossovers with that. So without wasting too much of your time, I've got quite a bit going on a personal level right now. Some things that I'm doing just for myself and my family, and then some other things that I'm working on that I can't actually disclose just yet. But I'm going to try and cram as much information into this short little cast as I possibly can. So we're going to get right to it. As we discussed in the last video, we're still expecting a major false flag. Something along the lines, I'm sure, of a multi-state or even a multi-country event. As I told you all in my last video, the only thing I know about that false flag is it's supposed to somehow connect or be tied to or relate to this whole concept and agenda of climate change. I know that climate weapons were stolen from were reclaimed from the Evergreen, the Ever Given ship, the Ever Given, which was the Evergreen ship caught in the Suez Canal. Some of those climate weapons could alter entire swaths of the atmosphere and make them unusable, basically. I really don't know if that's connected or not. I can't claim that to be connected here and now. I'm just saying to keep an open mind. The Sum of All Fears is a movie referenced by Q at least one time, and that movie involves a nuclear scare event at multiple coordinated large game and arena areas. There's also a Q post that tells people to avoid U.S. cities, large sporting events, and large conservative gatherings. I think we all need to be eyes open, but understanding that this next process is part of the final and total exposure of who these people are. Notice the Biden speech recently. That couldn't have looked more Luciferian if you had, with the one exception of putting ram's horns on the wall behind him in flames. Very dark, very hopeless. They use colors and shading and backgrounds to send coded messages and to pass along certain frequencies to your eyes and ears. Understanding how your matrix, how you are made up as a human being, will interpret those things. This is a worthy adversary that we have been fighting now for 6 to 7 years. The military quite a bit longer in the Q Patriot movement. This is a very worthy adversary, and we have to be extremely careful even this late in the game. Just because we've lopped off a lot of the leadership does not mean that, the random pockets here and there that are, essentially diehard berserkers for their beliefs, they can still pose a very tremendous threat. So we've been neutralizing that threat all this time. That threat has become significantly less and less and less and less. And we are fleshing out the very last of that, going through this next phase and doing the public reveal. And we're going to let them publicly reveal themselves. If you notice recently, Biden appointed a very loud-mouthed homosexual social media Satanist to his administration. It did not take, Anons very long to discover what's on his social medias and share it far and wide. this reveal process is going to be uncomfortable. We talked several videos back, a couple weeks ago, how things were going to get just a little bit worse before they get better, and that's by design. Um, on some levels, the white hats are allowing things to be done, and on some other levels, they are not. And so understand that, you know, mass casualty events are what we seek to avoid. But while we also seek to avoid that, we have to take the public mass consciousness right up to what we would call the brink. We need to let them see just how scary these people are. And we need to, and we as Anons here need to help guide those who are seeing that for the first time and who are um, who will react, with fear according to their MK Ultra programming. It's really not reasonable to hate or distrust or dislike your fellow man simply because they cannot make the same mental and emotional leaps that you've already made. MK Ultra is one of the most successful operations that has ever been devised and carried out in all of warfare and intelligence, in all of that history. For a great many years, myself, you, others like us, loved ones, have been brainwashed with a steady stream of perception altering, reality adjusting, um, rhetoric, and emotionally driven thought influence. And we have many of you out there listening to me have either begun to break away from that or already have broken away from that. But we need to keep in mind that this next phase that we're going through is to break that for everyone. And so things are going to become a bit like a waterfall and some rapids as we go through the month. For all of you out there in Europe, I need to go ahead and let you know that things are going to get pretty tough for you guys before they get better. You are currently in a situation where the Russian bear has turned off petrol, gasoline, natural gas to your all's countries in some respects, regardless of what the reasoning given is. We know full well here in this broadcast, if you're listening to me, that the petrodollar cabal designed system is being eviscerated. And part of that system being eviscerated is to cut the money off. And unfortunately, because we as citizens are a part of that matrix system that is all woven together like a spider's web, we cannot cut their money off without cutting our raw commodity off. You need to be aware that your governments are in full-fledged panic in Europe. You should also be aware that with the Pope's recent decree to return all monies to the Vatican Bank by the end of this month, most of your governments, as well as the government of the United States and the governments of the Commonwealth realms, are going to be faced with an extremely difficult situation very soon. The money has run out for the Kabbalist power structure at the top, and so now they have to try and take it back from you. We have drained their coffers at the top, their slush funds and savings accounts, if you will, and now they are coming after the only other money that they have, which is the money currently in circulation being used in the countries around the world. This is going to create an accelerating crisis. Through this crisis, we are going to learn a lot. We are going to become better as human beings because of it. We are going to see the light in ways that we did not think was possible only 3 months ago. Excuse me. We're going to have the opportunity to have these conversations with friends and family to let them know just what is going on and the peace and prosperity that awaits on the other side. This is the crossing into the promised land moment. However, we are crossing into a promised land that a very large Goliath has been trying to keep us out of and has been very successful at keeping us out of for a very long time. And so we are moving through that now. The rest of this week should prove to be very interesting. Some people that I would keep my eyes on would be the Pope. And I would certainly keep my eyes on the newly crowned King Charles. The reason I would keep my eyes on the newly crowned King Charles is because the British monarchy and the Rothschild banking empire tie directly into one another, and they are symbiotic in their relationship and dynamic. Whatever happens to the British monarchy directly affects the Rothschilds. Whatever happens to both the British monarchy and the Rothschilds will directly affect everything that happens in Europe. So that is why I tongue-in-cheek refer to him as the queen, as the king of Europe, the new king of Europe. I think it's really worth sitting back for a moment and appreciating just how close we are to full public disclosure of events that happened years ago. You know, the Queen was executed many years back. Her execution was videotaped and sent to various leaders and pockets of the deep state around the world as a message. But now that we have it in the public eye, we're going to see some incredible things. British monarchy, even though it's being optically protected for the moment, for the maintenance of that optical illusion for the British public for a short while longer, even though that is happening, the monarchy is dead. The monarchy will never return. The Commonwealth countries will all convert to republics and will be completely autonomous to one another. As we move through the death of the Kabbalist power structure on this earth, the ride's going to get bumpy, and it's going to be bumpy for just a little while. But what we are looking at on the other side simply cannot be overstated. We are at the greatest point in the evolution and development, in the creator-driven, designed development of all that we are. We are entering a golden age on this earth. We are entering an age of love and peace, prosperity and abundance. That age will last for your lifetime and many more lifetimes afterward. We are setting the stage for our children and grandchildren and for that posterity that we cannot even imagine in this moment. We are reorienting our path as mankind, and we are at the precipice of that becoming a fully fledged, publicly available, open source, anybody can see it happening right in plain sight type of event. I hope all of you stay excited out there, stay safe and smart. These are the end scenes, and the credits are going to be amazing. This is SGAnon, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.